this Thursday morning, good morning to you. And there could be a major development in the search for missing Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 this morning. Two large objects have been spotted by Australian satellite in a remote part of the Indian Ocean. Australian officials caution the objects may have nothing to do with the missing flight, saying it could be debris along a shipping route where containers can fall off cargo vessels. However, one of the objects is estimated to be about 24 meters in length. The other is 5 meters long. Poor visibility may hamper efforts in the search area about 2,500 kilometers southwest of Perth, Australia. The flight, with 239 people on board, disappeared March 8th while flying from Malaysia to China. The BC government is preparing to introduce back-to-work legislation to end the ongoing labor dispute at Port Metro Vancouver. That's where we find Greg Harper this morning. He joins us live with the details. Greg.
Good morning, Kyle. Yeah, here at the new Brighton Park entrance to Port Metro Vancouver, a number of container truckers have arrived here this morning as this strike continues. This is job action involving well over 1,000 container truckers. It's nearing the end of its second week, but it doesn't look as though this job action is going to continue much longer. The provincial government is preparing legislation right now that would force unionized truckers back to work. It includes a 90-day cooling off period, and it could be introduced as early as Monday. The union representing roughly 400 truckers has responded by saying the legislation is only going to make matters worse and a negotiated settlement is the only solution. Meanwhile, Port Metro Vancouver has issued notices to terminate the licenses and permits of up to 150 truckers.
We have anecdotal reports of cargo being diverted to other gateways. That's never good. Of course, we're competing with other ports for the business that we enjoy here. So folks are missing employment opportunities at the docks, at warehouses, at transportation opportunities, including the drivers. Getting back to work as soon as possible and restoring normal operations is what's best for drivers, best for the port, and best for the economy.
So we are hearing from Port Metro Vancouver this morning. We're going to hear from the union later on here today. Kyle?
All right, we'll see what happens this morning. Greg Harper live for us at Port Metro Vancouver. Police in Burnaby are searching for the driver who crashed a car into a building overnight. It happened in the 3700 block of North Fraser Way. Very few details are known, but the vehicle ended upside down and right inside the office building. It's believed the driver fled on foot. There are no reports of any injuries. An elderly man has now been charged with the first-degree murder of his wife on Vancouver Island. 71-year-old Melvin Desrochers is accused of shooting and killing his wife at their Saanich home on Tuesday. After getting a 911 call, police arrived to find 77-year-old Rosa Desrochers dead. The couple's dog was later found dead inside the house as well. Melvin Desrochers reportedly worked as a commissionaire and previously served with the Canadian Forces. A Surrey man is recovering from a brutal assault in Newton Athletic Park. The 72-year-old was attacked last Thursday, left with injuries to his face and hands. Surrey RCMP think his rings were the target of the robbery attempt. The suspect is in his early 20s with a dark complexion, about 5'8" with a slim build. He was wearing a dark hoodie, red jacket, and dark sweatpants. Sarah Leung's husband has finished testifying at her second-degree murder trial. Leung is accused of killing two newborn babies within a year of each other. Her husband knew she was pregnant and says he tried to convince her to tell her parents, but she was afraid because her father was so strict. The husband says Leung told him she miscarried. One of the babies was allegedly found outside her family home. The other has never been found. There's been a surprise development in the case of a missing Alberta couple. Charges against Travis Vader for the murders of Lyle and Marie McCann have been stayed. The McCanns went missing in 2010 after leaving for British Columbia to visit relatives. Their burned-out RV was found near Edmonton, but their bodies have never been found. Vader was set to stand trial in a couple of weeks, but his lawyer says the case was shoddily gathered with strings never tied together. Richmond RCMP believe they've arrested a serial sex offender and they're putting out a call for more potential victims. 28-year-old Nova Dadmand is charged with 11 criminal counts, including sexual assault. Police say Dadmand also went by the alias Robert Pico, posing as a modeling agent on social media. The alleged offenses happened around Metro Vancouver over the last 6 years.
Based on the fact that there are as many that have come forward so far as individual cases, that there is potential for other victims to be out there.
Richmond RCMP have asked anyone with tips about dead men to call them or Crime Stoppers. Alberta's ruling Progressive Conservatives will meet later today to choose an interim leader. Premier Alison Redford tendered her resignation last night. The decision to end her 29-month era followed weeks of open caucus fighting about Redford's lavish travel expenses, disillusionment with her, and the direction of her government. The resignation also means another party leadership race less than 3 years after the last one, which saw Redford replace then Premier Ed Stelmach.
Alberta's economic. Quite frankly, too much time has been spent over the last few weeks on questions of loyalty and allegiances and character. Too many people have been distracted from the important work that the people of Alberta sent us here to do. And as leader of this government and this party, that has weighed heavily on my mind.